Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and I'm looking this morning at a book which has come to us from Hart Publishing. It's The History of the Middle Temple, this book here. We'll look at the book in a minute, but let me just give you a title and explain a little bit about the book. It comes from Hart Publishing, and its editor is Richard Havery. It's collected a lot of information together from different contributors, and that's what makes the book so important. We've given it a title on the web and in the journals of A Temple to Legal Learning in Contemporary London. Here is its amazing history dating from the 12th century. Let me look at the book first of all. That's the front cover, nice picture as you can see of through the gateway. The book itself is very, very detailed. You just get an idea of it. It's obviously in full normal text, but there's a lot of footnote information. It's about 500 pages, and there's an important index at the back. As I've indicated, there are a list of very useful plates which show pictures of the inn at various stages in its existence and various famous people. But it is actually a complete history of this particular Inn of Court, and one which although I'm not a member of this inn, I'm a member of Lincoln's Inn, but this inn is very historic and one that all of us know about because we attend from time to time functions, lectures and so forth that go on at that particular inn. What we've said in a very long and detailed review of this work is, and I'll give you an extract of it, is some pointers as to why I think this is a book you should read and you should know about. And let me start off by saying that who would have thought it? With its long, illustrious, somewhat notorious history, the Middle Temple is certainly known to many worldwide within the legal fraternity only. That's at least in the English-speaking part of it, as one of the world's pre-eminent centres for legal education and practice. What I think this book is doing is opening it up from just that group of us who are lawyers and associated people to a much wider audience of people with an interest in this sort of the work that's been carried out in this sort of building and its history and everything else, because it has a massive history. Yes, before therefore this quite fascinating book was published, not even that many lawyers knew how many of England's movers and shakers who changed English history, not to mention American history, for better or for worse, were members of this inn. Yes, the Middle Temple is one of the 4 Inns of Court situated in that part of central London known as Legal London. It dates from the 12th century, and the Middle Temple, with its associations with the Knights Templar, boasts, among other beauties, a Tudor hall completed in 1574, when Shakespeare was about 10 years old. The first performance of his Twelfth Night was given here. Not surprisingly, therefore, the atmosphere is collegiate, reminiscent, of course, of an Oxford or Cambridge college. The Middle Temple and its neighbouring inns, Inner Temple, Gray's and Lincoln's Inn, offer green and tranquil oases of contemplation and legal learning, quite secluded from the nearby cacophony of London streets. You can imagine in Elizabethan times, apparently, the Inns of Courts were known colloquially as the Third University of England. Understandably, the Middle Temple attracted many luminaries to its membership. There was a time when you didn't have to be a lawyer or law student to join. Amongst the most prominent were, and here just a short list, Sir Walter Raleigh, William Congreve, Henry Fielding, Edmund Burke, William Cooper, William Makepeace Thackeray. One wonders if he wrote large chunks of Vanity Fair sitting under a tree in the Middle Temple gardens. Those of you with American connections will probably be somewhat astounded to learn that 5 Middle Templars signed the Declaration of Independence on the 4th of July 1776. Another Middle Templar, John Rutledge, chaired the committee which drafted the US Constitution, along with 6 other Middle Templars who were among the 39 original signatories. John Collier's most illuminating chapter on the American connection attempts to explain exactly how the Middle Temple came to be connected so closely with such pivotal events and institutions in American history. For instance, the story of Edwin Sands, whose Virginia's charters gave to the Virginia colonists all the liberties and franchises and immunities of English subjects. Obviously that's a very long time ago, but you can see how the history develops. There are a very large number of important contributions in the book. Lord Judge, who's the current Lord Chief Justice, has called this a monumental work, and so it is. Like the most reliable histories, it's written on the basis of research gleaned from the study of original sources, and what detail Mr. Havery has gone into is quite substantial, with he and his colleagues. As the very proud publishers at Hart Publishing quite rightly say, this book is a treasure trove of information about the inn, its diverse history and its influence. I think that sums it up basically. It's a riveting read, as well as a fascinating history, and enlivened with the illustrations, which I certainly found most interesting. I think what I'd like to say finally is that, curiously, although perhaps not so curiously, many of the issues raised in the book remain topical today, all of which makes this splendid work a must-have acquisition for anyone's library. And as I've indicated, it's not just for lawyers, it has a much wider appreciation. And when we went to the presentation, and I've taken people to Middle Temple, many of them have absolutely no idea of what the inn does, and this book will open up a whole new world. So thank you to all concerned for an excellent history. Bye bye.